like I said, you are gonna have a puzzle that you have to solve as part of your homework. Again, it's technically no math related, it's just knowing the vocabulary. So talking about key components of an algebraic expression. So this is your expression right here, 4x plus 3. We're gonna talk about each part. So the whole thing itself is the algebraic expression. All right, why is it not an equation? All right, why is this not an equation? Emily?
It doesn't have an equal sign.
Does not have an equal sign. All right, so an algebraic expression is a collection of numbers, variables, and operations with no equal sign, says it right there, packed into a mathematical phrase. All right, the 4x and the 3 are called terms. All right, terms are combinations of constants and variables separated by an operation. So the term 4x is separated from the term 3 by addition. Okay, so doesn't matter how many numbers or letters are pushed together, that is a term as long as it's separated by an operation, whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Now don't get confused and be like, but Miss Kimmy, what did this 4 be a term to the x? No, it's not. It's separated by an actual operation that you can actually see. All right, a coefficient is the number that is connected to the variable. So the two things are pushed together. Your coefficient is your number. Okay, obviously the variable we talked about a ton. So what is the variable? You can go ahead and call it out.
The unknown number.
It's an unknown number. Obviously we know what an operation is. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. And then the constant. Constant is simply a number by itself. Okay? All right, questions? Questions about any of that information? Slide down to the bottom part. A few other things that you should know about expressions before moving on to equations. Other things to know. An expression with no variable. Raise your hand and tell me what is a variable.
Can I get a different marker? Thank you.
What does variable mean? Christian?
A letter that represents a number.
A number that we know or a number that we don't know?
A number that we don't.
Okay, so an expression with no variable in it, numbers or operations only, is called a numerical expression. All right? So 4 plus 3, 7 times 8. 8 plus 6 minus 2 is a numerical expression. Does that make sense? It's got numbers, number numerical. Think about it like that. Algebraic, alphabet. That's kind of how I thought about it when I was in school. All right, positive constants and coefficients are those that are greater than 0, obviously. Negative constants or coefficients are those that are less than 0. Do we need to highlight anything other than positive and negative there? Are you sure?
Oh, less than 0 and greater than 0.
All right, hey, that's not on me. All right, so greater than 0 and less than 0. This is for y'all, so I will highlight whatever you want to highlight. I'm good with that. All right, the last thing, a constant that is being subtracted is in an expression is considered a negative constant. Okay, so a constant that is being subtracted is a negative constant. Bless you. Your example is 4x minus 2, so this minus 2 becomes negative 2. So the especially when you're combining like terms and you're solving problems and using substitution method, which is what we're going to be talking about today, the operation that is in front of your terms goes with that term. So if it's a minus 2, it becomes a negative 2. right? We'll get into where it's like minus parentheses -2. That's completely different. Okay? Any questions about this side of your page?
No.
Good? Alright, slide over to equations. Alright, there are several things that we can do with an expression. One of them is to simplify the expression by combining like terms. Alright, like terms. We've talked about it a little bit. But like terms are constants. What is a constant? Raise your hand. If you don't know what a constant is, look at your page on the left side. What's a constant? Hunter.
A number that stands alone.
A number that stands alone all by itself. So you can combine constants. You can combine terms with the same what? Same, Olivia. Variable. So can I combine 4x plus 3y? Why not? Because they don't have the same variable. Alright, simplifying expressions by combining like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variable. So the x's here are the same, so we are going to add or subtract them. Or why are we adding them in this instance? Question?
There's an sign that separates them both.
Yes. So this operation right here tells us how to combine, whether we're adding or subtracting them. Alright, over here, we're going to be combining our constants. Why can we only combine the constants over here and not the 3x? Jackson?
Because the 3x isn't a coefficient. Oh wait, no. It isn't a constant. It
Yes.
has a
Yep. So your constant and your constant here are the same. Those are the like terms. And we're adding them because the operation between the two is addition. What if the operation between the two was subtraction? What would we do? Subtract it. In 7th and 8th grade, you start multiplying and dividing. We will not multiply or divide, combining like terms. We'll just be adding and subtracting only. Okay? Simplifying expressions. And this is with like terms combined. So these are not like terms because our x and our y are different. And something else you need to understand. The powers. So if you have 6x plus 4x squared, you cannot combine those. Why? Why can we not combine those? Ace.
Because one is squared and the other isn't.
Right, so what if I had 6x to the third? Could I combine it with 4x squared? What? Right, you can only combine with the same power, so it can only be variable squared, variable to the third, whatever. So your powers have to be the same as what, they have to literally be the exact same minus the number. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, yes ma'am.
So if I have a equation like 5 plus 3x minus 3, and if I'm combining like terms, what operation would I do? There's both operations for me.
So you said 5 minus 3x, no, plus 3x minus 3?
Yes.
So when you combine like terms, you always include the operation in front of it. So if I'm combining 5 and minus 3, which is now a negative 3, I'm going to do 5 minus 3. Okay, good question. All right, any other questions like that? That was a good question. All right, last little section of vocabulary. It says we can also set two algebraic expressions equal to each other to form an equation and then solve the equation step by step. So here's your equation. We talked a lot about solving equations, 1-step and 2-step. Excuse me? So what's the difference between an equation and an expression? Jack?
So what's the difference from solving?
What's the difference between an expression and an equation?
Well, the equation has an equal sign, the expression is everything but equal sign.
Right. So an equation has that equal sign, an expression does not. Alright, so you're gonna do the inverse operation, which is the opposite. You are gonna need a pen for this. Inverse. Opposite. Oh, that's so terrible. Sorry. Alright, so you have to do the opposite. So here we're doing -3 to both sides. Inverse operation on both sides of the equation to keep it balanced. Then you do it again. So if this is multiplication, the inverse operation, which is the opposite, you're gonna divide both. 12 divided by 4 is 3. A key word there is isolated. At the end of the day, you want to get your variable all by itself on one side of the equal sign. That's how you know that you've solved the equation correctly, or you hope you solved it correctly. All right, and then obviously to check, you just plug it back in. Again, that's called the substitution method, which is what we're going to be talking about today. All right, questions about this page? You need to refer back to this, review this, look at this. Please glue it into your notebook right now. This is very important. It's got a lot of good information on it. We do not need to talk. Stand up when you have this glued in for me, sorry.
Are we gonna highlight anymore?
We may. Just hang on to it, it's okay. We may. Alright. Does everybody have this? Might be down on the next line. Right side. If you do not, this is technically where this homework is gonna go from yesterday. That's why the days are 1/10. Okay? Alright, turn the page. Alright, there are technically lots of different ways you can do this to try to keep it as simple as possible. I'm gonna give you 2.5 steps. Because the third step is an option. So that's why it's half. Okay? So, step number 1. Solve one equation for one variable. the variable. This means they might tell you x equals 2. That's for this part. Solving the equation for the variable would be 4x plus 3 equals 15. Okay? So there's two, depending on what level you're at. And that's why I'm giving you guys both. We are going to be dealing with the given value and you're just plugging it in. All right, step number 2. Once you know the value, of the given variable, plug in or replace the variable with the number. And again, what that means is if x equals 2, and we have 4x plus 3 equals 15. Does everybody have the top one?
Yes.
I don't want to go too fast. Okay. All right, so what step number 2 is, and this is really what we're going to be dealing with, like I said, in 6th grade and a little bit of the 7th grade stuff. So x equals 2, we're going to plug in the 2 for the x. So we're plugging or substituting. How many of you guys play sport? Okay, how many of you guys get really tired and you tell your coach, hey, I need a break? All right, and then somebody comes in for you. Technically, they substitute in, right? I mean, depending on what sport. Like for soccer, like if we ever needed a break, let the coach know if he substitutes another player in until you're ready to come back on the field. I know with football, they substitute positions and people who play different positions. Hockey is the same way. Basketball, I think it's the same way. Okay, but you get my point. So we are given an x in our equation. So in our equation, we have 4x plus 3 equals 15, right? Now, as the coach, I have just given you the value of x. And I want you to substitute the value of x into our equation. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Yes, ma'am. Hunter.
Yeah.
So before we do anything, though, we have to understand, am I just going to make this 42?
No, you have to multiply it.
You have to multiply it because technically it's a coefficient. So this becomes 4 times 2 plus 3 equals 15. And then from there, we just solve our problem. This just becomes a PEMDAS problem. Okay? Questions? Yes. Huh?
Wouldn't it equal 11?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it equals. I just threw some numbers up there.
Oh.
I have no
Okay,
idea if I just picked any numbers out of anywhere.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Did I tell you?
No, I just threw some numbers up there to like show you this is what you do. All right, now, here's the next part. So that's if you have an equation. Now, the other part that you're gonna see, this is kind of your step 3/2 still, is with an expression. So you have, I'm not gonna make you rewrite all of this. For an expression, can I move the, does everybody have this part?
Yes.
Yes.
Or I do.
Not every.
I said no.
Yeah.
Is that good? There's still enough information on the screen for what you need. Okay. For an expression, you are given the value for the variable and we'll plug in or replace with the number. Alright, and this, same thing, so we're gonna say x equals 4, and we have 7 plus 3x. Alright, 7 plus 3x. So how do we, first of all, what's different between this one and this one? Cooper?
This one's an expression.
Right, so this one's an expression, so technically, we don't know what it equals. So we have to plug in this unknown number that we now know what the value is and see what it equals. So here, you would plug it in, and you would get 7 plus 3 times 4 equals what? Because this time you're actually, I apologize for, you said this should have been 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and just change that. So this time though, you don't have an answer to check, you just have to hope you did it right.
Will it equal
19.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm not gonna get any more in depth because, like I said, system of equations and linear equations is 7/8th grade stuff. I don't wanna confuse you too much, and I don't want you to think that this is a hard concept, because this is not hard at all. This is actually very simple. I give you a value, you plug it in and do order of operation. That's really what this is saying. So yes, we used a lot of big words and we did a lot of weird things, but really at the end of the day, it's just simply here's the value, plug it in and solve. Okay, so don't overanalyze this. Alright, slide over in your notebook to the next blank left page. Sorry, right. I have the worst migraine today. I think it's cutting off circulation to the brain. Expressions and equations, task cards. And then today's date, which is 1/11. Alright, so this is what you're gonna be doing for the remainder of the day. These task cards. We are gonna go over a couple. Obviously I cannot display them here and do the work up here, so I'm gonna write the expression, I'm gonna write all the information, and we're gonna solve them together. A few of them, not all of them, okay?
Hello? It just died.
I feel you, bro.
You're like, wait, it's not over yet?
Right?
Focus.
We can somewhat see.
Yeah.
We can kinda make out.
Expressions and...
Well, you
know what it says.
It's like giving me the red like box, no, we ain't doing this no
If you
more.
just
Hey, we did it! Yay! The red box worked! The red.
Alright, so
The red for your dad.
the first expression that we're gonna be doing is 17b minus a squared divided by 2. And A equals 8, and B equals 6. Alright, so this is problem number 1 that everybody is going to do. So we're doing number 1 together. This is obviously an expression because we don't have an equal sign. Do we know the values for B and A?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So then, what do we have to do to start with? Go from there. What do we have to do to start with? Jeremiah?
17B, since we know B equals 6, you would do 17 times 6 with parentheses.
I told you for B. Hold on a second.
It looks like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough.
No.
Close enough.
Oh, and
Or
Scott.
not.
Oh my gosh.
Alright,
Why not
17
for-
times 6.
With parentheses.
Okay.
Then minus A squared equal
Well, what is A squared? What does A equal?
8.
8. So we could do 8 squared and then divide it by 2. Okay? So then at this point, this should be easy for us, right? This is strictly order of operation. Alright, so everyone do 17 times 6. Raise your hand when you have your answer. Well, I don't know who I trust.
I won't trust
Haley,
you.
what is it? What is it?
102.
102?
Yes.
Okay, so 102 minus, what is 8 squared? What's 8 squared? Haley?
64.
64 divided by 2. Alright, so what is 102 minus 64? Cooper,
38.
are you sure?
That's right here.
Are you positive?
Yes.
No, he's positive.
38?
38.
Are you sure it's not 42?
40.
Oh, he is right. 42. Wait.
38.
Wait.
He's
No.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
right.
he is right.
I know, calm down.
Wanna make sure- wanna make sure-
No, don't shoot the messenger, he's gonna have a hard time.
You're trying to confuse
That's
us.
your job.
You're
Alright.
trying to- Oh my god.
38. Quiet, divided by 2 is what? 19. So the answer to number 1 is 19. Now, obviously, I wrote this really big on my paper and I spread it out really, really a lot so that we could see each step. You don't have to write it this big, but you do have to show each step. Okay, so listen. You start, I'll wait. You start with your original problem. You write what the value of each variable is, plug it in, and then solve. That is the process for today. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do number 2 as well. Again, you can make this closer on your page. I'm not going to because I'm not doing all of these. You guys are. But I just want you to be able to see all of the steps. Alright, so number 2. 4D plus 3C minus D squared. They also have them as capital letters. I don't like writing them as capital letters. I write all of my variables as lowercase letters. Okay? And then C equals 11 and D equals 5. So what is the first thing that we have to do? Christian. Okay, so we have 4 times 5, put in parentheses, plus, in parentheses, 3 times 11 minus 5 squared. And then just go and do order of operations. So from here, what's 4 times 5? Ace. Alright, Ace, what is 3 times 11? And what is 5 squared? Okay? And then from here, we have 20 plus 33 minus 25.
When we're showing our work, do we have to write 5 times
No. I'm, at this point in the year, I'm going to assume that we know 5 squared, 5 cubed. I mean, if you wanna write out the work, you can, but no, like, what I'm doing is acceptable. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like, you writing 25 there tells me you know what you're doing. Okay? What's the answer
For what?
for this? 20 plus 33 minus 25.
Well, it's 43 minus 25. And then it'd be 28.
So the correct answer for that one is 28. All right. Questions? Shh. There should not be any humming. Now, number 16. Over here, number 16, do not do.
Not do
Okay.
number 16.
Do not do number 16. I think that's the only one. And you know, minus what I took out and we did, or all together? 28.
That's not a lot. That's not bad.
Yes.
Remember when we had to answer
And
like
we
the
did
questions
3
in
of
like
them.
5 minutes?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Alright, the other thing, I don't know why it's on. So there's number 12 and number 28 have the pi symbol, but it's telling you that, has the pi symbol, but it's telling you that pi equals 3 and not 3.14.
Okay.
So it's just, it's giving you the whole number of 3, so don't get confused and be like, no, it's supposed to be 3.14, it's not. It tells you right in there, pi equals 3. So I just wanna make sure you guys understand that as well, you don't have to do the decimal part. Okay? I don't know if I want you to work in partners. I'm struggling with that. Hold on 1 second. Let me get over here. You need to, in order to find all of this craziness, you're gonna need to have your iPad, you're gonna go onto Canvas, not right now, not at this moment. And it's going to be the expressions and equations task cards. That's what you're clicking when you go into modules today. I should probably publish it. This stuff is what we went over, the pop quiz. I'm going to unpublish this, just kidding, so you guys cannot take the pop quiz, because I don't want you to take it yet. Not yet.
Just publish it. Publish it and just make sure that.
Somebody was upset though?
I want to do the pop quiz.
Okay.
Pop quiz is gonna be hard. Pop quiz
Okay.
is gonna be
Nice. Alright, so it's still highlighted black, but you can't click on it anymore. Alright, so you are expressions and equations task card. This is the vocabulary thing we went over. This is going to be your homework, which I'm going to give to you before you leave today. You may work with a partner if you want to. If you are working with a partner and I hear, see, find, check, anything, and you are doing anything other than this, we will not do partners group work for the entire 9 weeks. Today is your only chance to prove to me that you still know how to do this. So if you are like, nah, today is not a good day for me to talk to other people and try to work together, you should probably stay in your own little area. You do not want to ruin it for the rest of the class. Do you understand? All right. If you do finish early, or you get this done, because if you don't, then it becomes homework. If you get this done, come and grab your other homework. If you don't get it done, you'll still get this paper. You're just gonna have double homework tonight. All right, go ahead, get started.